Earlier this year, the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, making it the biggest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis. Since then, the FDIC seized both the Silicon Valley Bank and New York's Signature Bank, which also collapsed earlier this year, serving as a reminder of how fragile the U.S. banking system can be.
Every few years, there would be a new banking crisis, and usually they call them bank runs.
A situation often defined by this scene in A Wonderful Life.
Don't look now, but there's something funny going on over there at the bank, George. I've never really seen one, but that's got all the earmarks of being a run.
You're thinking of this place all wrong, as if I had the money back in a safe. The money's not here. Well, your money's in Joe's house. That's right next to yours. And in the Kennedy house, and Mrs. Maitland's house, and 100 others.
So the Silicon Valley bank run is what a lot of people called a self-fulfilled prophecy. Like this house of cards, when people started taking their money away, or taking cards away in this instance, the support slowly starts to fail. But if everybody takes their money away at once, the entire bank collapses. In Silicon Valley's case, the catalyst was rising interest rates.
Banks take your money in, they hold just a tiny fraction of it in liquid assets, and then they invest the rest in loans. Right? Silicon Valley Bank makes lots of loans to the tech sector, and then they were holding a lot of more safe assets that were treasury bonds. So if interest rates go up, the price goes down, and those assets aren't worth anything anymore. Banks know this is a risk, and so the better run banks hedge against this. It's called interest rate risk.
But the outcome of these crises is not what one would expect in Fort Collins.
And so this is happening nationwide. This isn't really just about Fort Collins, but to the extent that Fort Collins has the tech sector, which it does, it'll be exposed to that shock. I guess from a historical perspective, it just feels like, well, yet another in a long line of banking crises.